All right. When you're right, when you are ready, please introduce yourself, introduce her, and give us a countdown, and we'll get started.
Alrighty, hello everyone, I'm Page. I ran the Stanley Parable earlier, and now I'm going to be doing L.A. Noire. This is L.A. Noire Traffic with skips. Basically, L.A. Noire, if you've ever played it, it's like an 11-hour long game. The PB, or the world record for like the full game speedrun-wise is like 4 or 5 hours. This isn't really longathon, so we're not going to be doing the full run today. We are doing the one of the cases. For if you haven't played this game, there's 5 cases. There's patrol, there's traffic, there's homicide, there's advice, which is basically drugs, and then there's arson. But we're just doing traffic, which is all car crimes today. So if anyone's a big fan of car crimes, get excited. So time starts the second we basically say we want to override the save. So time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I can't remember which one it is to think, but there we go. Okay, so we skip the patrol cases. We start a new game, but we skip the patrol cases because patrol is basically the tutorial. So we're going to be doing driver's seat. Now, I'm on PS5, which means I can skip cutscenes by holding X. It's not really something you can do on PC, which is why I'm playing on console. So let me explain what this game is. We are Cole Phelps, an LAPD detective, war veteran, and L.A. Noire is a GTA. I mean, it's made by Rockstar, who are now called Rockstar Australia. I'll talk about the behind the scenes of the game in a bit, but basically you play as an LAPD detective, Cole Phelps, who's a World War II veteran in 1947, I think this game takes place, and pretty much he goes up the ranks. He starts as a patrol officer, he solves a crime, and then he goes to traffic, which is this case, where he investigates car crimes, and then he goes on to homicide, where he finds a serial killer, which is actually based on a real serial killer from the 40s.
32 years
and then, yeah.
married.
And then he gets on to advice after solving that case, but then that's where, by homicide, you start learning about, I mean, even in patrol, you do start learning about the corruption, because it goes into basically, like, the corruption in the LAPD back in the 40s. So yeah. But especially by the end of homicide, and especially throughout all of advice, you basically learn about, like, the corruption in the LAPD. So yeah. So this, what we're doing is we've gone, okay, alright, I'm getting this car instead. Basically, Basically, so this case is, there's a guy named Frank Morgan. He is the owner of that car. That's parked over there. That's like, it's full of blood. And we theorize he's possibly dead. So we've got to speak to his wife. There's like a lot of blood, so either that or he's heavily injured. But yeah, we're gonna go speak to his wife, Margaret Black. Some cutscenes aren't skippable, so yeah. But it turns out, you'll find out. But yeah. Quick behind the scenes to this game, I guess. This game was made by this was made by the development Team Bondi, who later then shut down due to workplace issues, and then they came back only a few years ago, actually. Rockstar brought them back only a few years ago. And they have been rebranded to Rockstar Australia. Now, they haven't really done anything at the moment, mostly because at the moment, they are doing the... Okay, where are we going? Here. At the moment, they're doing the Red Dead Redemption 2 thing of pretty much every Rockstar team is currently working on GTA 6. So, at the moment, Rockstar Australia isn't really doing anything apart from, working with all the other studios with 6. So, yeah. But after they came back, which was I think around 2017, they made the VR game for this. Am I in the right area? Where am I parked? Okay, I am, yes. I am parked on this side of the road, that was weird. So, yeah, they made the VR port for this, L.A Noire VR The Case Files, which is available on PC and PSVR 1. Where it's just a few of the cases, not all of them, put into VR ports. It's fine on PC, it's terrible on PSVR 1, due to the PSVR 1 being a terrible headset. Yeah. So, oh, they also made this remaster here, so yeah. So I do have some preset dialogue. The main set thing with this
Are you aware that
game
he's missing?
is you'll notice the facial tracking might look a bit detailed. That's because this was like one of the first games to use facial tracking, like where they actually like a lot of it back when this game came out. A lot of faces were like hand animated.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But this game used like full on like tracking where the thingy tracked like every part of their face. Also, one thing you'll notice if you especially look up any of the actors, they all look like their characters.
When did you last see Adrian?
So the guy who plays Cole Phelps, I forget what his name is, but he looks a lot. He basically is. His face is basically the
must remember something.
the face of Cole Phelps. So yeah. So you'll notice the dialogue might sound, although when we've chose what to say to him, it might like sound a little different. Sometimes it'll like be boo-doo-doo or that one. If you get it right, it does that. If you get it wrong, it does thingy. Now, this is where the skips comes into play. The whole skips of this category is, if you've ever played, the best way to explain it, because most people have played this game, if you've ever played GTA 5, which you most likely have, you probably know that when you die 3 times in that game, it will give you the option to press either, I think it's F or on a controller square or X, and you can basically skip the mission in case you're stuck. This game has that, however in this game you actually have to turn it on. It's called action skips, and what we do is we fail the mission 3 times, intentionally, and what we then get is a little prompt here, which says, do you want to skip this action? We say yes, and that basically skips us having to actually tail him as it's a little slow. And that's where the whole skips comes into play. There is no skips where you actually have to, like, you know, do the mission, but we'll do a few different strats and stuff like that. But yeah, one thing you'll also notice as well is we're able to skip our car ride. Again, a bit like in GTA 5. If you ever played GTA 5, you know if you get in a taxi, you can skip the journey. If we hold triangle, or hold the button to get into the car, and basically gets and we've picked a journey, that basically gets our partner to get in the driver's seat, and we basically just ride as a passenger, and we can skip if we press X, we can just skip the full journey, and it just takes us automatically to the waypoint. It's basically a very quick way to get around. So yeah. So this is kind of the whole chasing section of the game. There's like chasing, gunplay, and fighting. We're not going to do any of the fighting in this game because this run doesn't really involve any fighting. But it does involve gunplay. So that is the first case done. That is driver's seat done. So we have a few more. Well, the ones we have is driver's seat, console's car, which is actually DLC, marriage made in heaven. I forget what the other one's called, and then there's 2 others that I don't remember the name of, to be honest. We'll find out. But this is the console's car. So this is a consulate from Argentina. Has reported their car as stolen. And actually, they didn't report it. Well, I think they did report it, but someone someone with the last name Jacobs, Oswald Jacobs, reported that there were a group of men going to town on a car. In his backyard, so, or yeah, as we say in the UK, back garden. So,
an abandoned vehicle.
Pretty much, we are going to go investigate this because it sounds really suspicious.
Shiny new Packard unless they borrowed it without asking. You don't say. You're on fire today, Einstein. Very funny. Come on, my intense protege. Let's go save the world.
So yeah, sometimes you can't skip the full journey unless you listen to the whole dialogue. Yeah. Here I can't thing. The game's basically just giving some quick exposition on.
Has anyone touched this vehicle since you arrived?
Also, thanks to our house. Yes, Aaron Staten. That's it.
We'll talk with him in a moment. Give us some time to look the place over.
There's also this. I've seen some videos, especially by a. There's this one YouTuber who's great. They've done Arkham videos as well as Rockstar videos, and they got. I don't know how they did. I think they must have. I don't know if Rockstar released it or whatever, but basically they released they found, or they got access to footage of, like, what's the word? It's like when acting goes wrong. Bloopers, basically. And it looks really funny because, obviously, they start pulling faces, which obviously it tracked, so Rockstar kept track of it. Yeah. So... And also, yes, for anyone who's curious, this was around the time when when Rockstar was releasing games very often.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
Unlike nowadays, where they only release a game every few years. So, yeah.
Could you run the name Dewey Brothers? Possibly a dealership or car mechanics workshop.
To us, most a lot of developers are like that. I've been playing through every Lego game and like recently, and like they've been releasing. They used to release them every year, and now they only release them every like 4 or 5 years.
Thanks.
So we basically had to use the police telephone here just to basically call dispatch and ask, if where the Dewey Brothers are. Because unfortunately, back in the 40s, unlike coppers now, police back in the 40s didn't have, you know, radios, like mobile radios. They had radios, but they were in the cars. They weren't in like the you know, unlike nowadays. So yeah. So this is William Dewey. He's very annoying. Like every car dealer in this game, they're like really all annoying. But yeah.
Packard belonging to the Argentine embassy. Are you missing a combination wrench?
I don't know, detective, but I know how we can find out.
So we're gonna actually meet two of them. This one's not as annoying as the other one, but thankfully we're gonna skip the cutscene of them being annoying anyway. So here we have to play this little mini game. It's basically a put the right wrench in the right slot mini game. Why we have to do this whole thing, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. So put a 3/4 there. Basically, it's missing a red 3/4, but you have to fill this whole thing in. So yeah.
Maybe a used car. I have some nice used cars for guys in your wage bracket.
Why don't you give us some alone time, Dewey? Go sell some cars or
I
whatever.
love the dialogue in this game. The acting is really well done as well in this game.
Delgado is missing a 3/4.
Yeah, so there we go. Also, if I'm correct, a lot of these actors aren't just regular voice actors. I think a lot of them were just kind of like TV/movie actors as well. I don't think they're A-listers, but they were like in a lot of good stuff. So I know Aaron Staton was seen interviews of him being in quite a few things. So we're going to ask him one question, then we're going to say doubt, and then we're just going to back out. Though thankfully this one will be correct, because we need to find out where he lives.
Address, Dewey.
So he's going to give us that information.
Okay, all right.
Also, you'll notice it gives me... So I can either give truth, doubt, or lie, which is a little different than the actual original game, because on PC, it's good cop, bad cop, accuse.
You drive.
Yeah.
Over the case notes.
Where
are we headed?
So yeah. Unless this one does say good cop, bad copy. I might be wrong, I don't know. I can't remember. We'll find out in a second, because it's we're going to do it to this lady, who is the wife of Gabriel Delgado. Basically, Gabriel Delgado got mad at the man at the Argentinian embassy. I forget what his name is. There is a line in this game which I'm not going to say, as I mean, it's very not family friendly. But basically, you've probably heard the meme. It kind of became a meme because of how out wild it is. You probably know what I'm talking about, but yeah, basically, the Argentinian consulate's a bit of a weird guy, and he basically kind of annoyed Gabriel, so Gabriel basically was like, oh, I'm I'm him, and basically robbed his car and stole things off it, so yeah, so there's some... Oh, nope, don't need that. Never actually had that pickup. Usually, yeah. You need to pick up this diplomatic license plate.
Diplomatic license plates.
And there's some tires back here. We just need to get evidence to use against her real quick. There is also other stuff we can use against her, such as, like, there being two... She claims he wasn't there, yet there's, like, 2 plates on the kitchen table. And stuff like that. So, yeah. So, you can go for, like 5 stars in this game. Stars in this game are used to kind of rate how your investigation went. Again, it isn't, because obviously you're a cop. 5 stars usually 100%, you've found all the evidence, and you've got everything right and stuff. What do I say to her? Truth. Yeah. I have a whole notepad here of just dialogue.
He no longer respects this man, Dewey. He took the car to show this maricon that he is a man.
Tell us the truth, Anna. Has Gabriel been here?
I haven't seen him for at least 3 nights.
Okay, this one uses good cop.
Easy on yourself,
And bad
Anna.
cop, yeah.
Tell us where he is.
I want to, senor.
What I've written here is
I
like
just don't know where
truth,
he is.
truth, doubt, truth. But I have to try to remember the thing.
Matching our stolen vehicle in the shed. Add in the
Well, I also
assault
only
parts
use the
to
lie
remake
one, which is
Gabriel
accused in
for a
this
dozen
game.
other thefts. It's time to get
as-
serious, Anna.
You must ask these questions of Gabriel. I
I
know
think
nothing of these car parts.
Then tell us where he is.
fix my OBS a little bit.
If your baby is born in prison, Anna, the corrections officers will take it from you. You will see
I
your
don't know how
son or
that's ended
daughter
up like that.
through a
It's
metal
fine. That
grate
really
for
doesn't
half an hour a
matter.
week.
The start line is on 1st and Santa Fe.
Okay, let's fix my
There is a
OBS there,
spillway
because
under the bridge
my
that leads to the
buttons
river.
where it says like stop, start, and start buffer, replay buffer, that was like halfway off the edge of the screen. That was very strange.
We will put in a good word for you, Anna.
So yeah, street
As far as
race.
we're concerned, this is
Unfortunately,
a
we can't get involved. Well, we can get involved in the street race, but we're not going to be racing. Unfortunately, we are going to actually use action skips. It usually turns into a whole car chase of just the different cars basically getting like taken down in scripted ways. So yeah.
I have a quick question from the chat from Dan the Man. Do you fail if you do really bad?
No, if you do really bad, no. You still technically pass the case. You just so at the end of the game, you're like captain of that like case or that
Phelps, 1247.
I forget what it's called. The captain of that like officers that deal with that. I forget what the thing is called. What the Oh, the captain of that desk. So if you if you get in trouble, the captain of that desk, if you do everything wrong, the captain of that desk will yell at you. But if you do everything right, the captain will actually like say you did a good job, blah blah blah. It's basically changes the dialogue. So if you
1247.
say it's not really possible to fail unless, I mean, you can die, but yeah, you can't really fail the case initially. It's basically you just get either congratulated for doing a good job if you basically get 5-star. If you get like 1 star or very low stars, you basically just get told off. That was the worst way to explain it, but hopefully that did. There was a whole little story to kind of explain that one thing, but hopefully that explained it well enough.
Dan's played L.A Noire once, so
yeah, it's. I've always told people to play it. Should play it. It's a very long game, and it can be quite a bit of a thing, but it is very fun. Yeah, so this is A Marriage Made in Heaven. So, this is one of my favorite. It's one of the shortest, but it is one of my favorite. So this is about Lester Patterson. He is a hit and run victim. He was run over at the start of the. They usually show the crime a little bit.
You can drive.
But they don't obviously show you who did it. They just show it happening sometimes. But yeah, but this is basically Lester Patterson, the husband of Lorna Patterson, has been killed in a hit and run. So we're going to go and investigate it. And yeah. I love this case because it changes very well paced. So we actually do a little skip there. We skip that cop, sort of. We will have to still speak to him because he is almost every character we have to speak to in this game is required. But we can actually skip. We can kind of skip when we speak to them if we just run away from them or run around them. So that cop will still speak to us after we speak to the coroner, but before we do that, we need to look at that knife, which very suspicious to have a very bloody knife in a bin like that. And then we're going to look in his second pocket, or his left pocket here, and we're going to grab some life insurance, or paper, which is his life insurance. And the life insurance is up to 16 grand. So yep. So that sounds very suspicious to us, but then we just have to listen to the coroner for a little bit, so... yeah.
Reports he was intoxicated at the time of the accident. I'll know how intoxicated once I've done the autopsy. Looking him over now, I'd say he died on impact.
What about the chest wound? Isn't that inconsistent?
Also, I saw what Toyota put in the chat, and he's very much agreeing. Legacy Undercover is basically GTA for kids. That and Simpsons Hit and Run.
What have we got?
Because a white male named Lester Patterson walked out of the bar and into the
Look, I'm not entirely surprised they did that, because I mean, GTA has always been a very popular game. So I'm not surprised that they did make games for kids.
Useful to contribute is the young lady over there. She lives above the bar. Name is Shannon Perry. No, it's not a stage name. 24 years old. She left Kansas to follow the yellow brick road.
Is that so? We'll take a
So we don't need to speak to Shannon Perry because she, well, if you want to get 5 stars, you do, but we don't need to. So we're just going to run over here, and we're going to go to the Patterson residence, where we're going to go and find Lorna Patterson. Now, we will find someone else there, but I will say their name when we get there. I mean, they're not someone super important, like, as in, if you've not played this game, you won't know who I'm talking about. But they will play an importance into the case at the end of it. Yeah. So, this is a thing where you guys are going to see, this person cares so much about their husband being dead. Just, if you watch their reaction to us telling them,
investigating the incident, ma'am.
just watch their reaction. Just watch how they react to this. It's...
Can you tell me what happened?
What's to tell? He got hit by a car and now he's dead.
You don't appear to be
very upset about it. Very upset about it.
Lester and I met
Yeah, she's the most suspicious person I've ever seen. Unfortunately, none of this is skippable until a man called Leroy Sabo walks into the room. Where the second he walks into the room, I can skip the cutscene. Leroy Sabo, who owns that bar we were at earlier,
It's about time you left. I have someone here, and
he doesn't really... he doesn't really matter at the moment, but he will by the end of it. Hi, Leroy. So we're just going to ask her a question, which we're going to get wrong.
straight into the path of an oncoming car.
Even though clearly she's lying. I mean, I think even people who are bad at telling that can probably tell.
Yelling at me when the car hit him.
Just looks very much away from, like, the camera. Heavily.
Keeping an eye on you.
Her eyes also, for some reason, dart around the room. Anyway, yeah, so... we're going to go this way, and we're going to...
Can you drive to this one?
Not do that.
So
I forgot to mark it. We need to go to the coroner. Now, the coroner is over... I've got to remember where he is. He's over this corner here. I know where he is, because he's got those little lines there. Don't know what the lines mean, but...
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
With this run, you have to kind of remember where people are on the map. On here, I've literally noted to go to near Broadway. Is how I've written it on my notes. So, anytime I see Broadway, I'm like, yeah, I'm there. Sometimes, if we get it, we got it. Okay. Sometimes it throws you straight into the cutscene, but if you're unlucky, it'll either spawn you across the street, or it'll spawn you, or it'll do that, where it kind of takes a minute to do it. So, the coroner's going to tell us that he's been stabbed. He wasn't actually, the blood on the knife we found actually matched, the blood that, or his blood. And the the marks, the chest wound on that he had, was not from a hood ornament, and it was actually that he was stabbed. So, we now know that it was, we now believe it's them, so we're actually going to go and arrest them. Now, this case is almost over, but this bit may need to be a bit of a restart, as in, we may have to, like, restart the section if I mess up. No, I got it, thank God. Basically, sometimes you can get a headshot and take him out in one, but yeah, basically what happened there was Leroy Sabo stabbed Lester Patterson because he was going to start dating Lorna, and they were going to take out money. They take out the 16 grand from Lester's life insurance. It was all a ploy. Basically, they were trying to make it look like a hit and run, but the actuality was he was stabbed by Leroy before he was hit by a car, and yeah. But there we go. That is that one done. Now we're on a slip of the tongue. So, a slip of the tongue is a...
I swear, the more bent cars we bring in, the longer the hot sheet.
Thanks, officer. A slip of the tongue is my least favourite one, sort of.
I'm sure she'd agree with you.
Basically, this one's more just kind of about, like, fraudulent, like, slips. It's fine, but it's not as epic as the other ones, I guess. But yeah, but we're almost at the end. This is like the second to last one, so we're getting close to the end of the run. Yeah. So, pretty much, I mean, I say that, but there is even the end. I mean, these next ones are quite lengthy, to be honest.
I was about to ask, how close is the end of the run are we talking about? Because we're only about half an hour in.
Yeah, not super close. I mean, if you say, I mean, these cases take a while. It'll take a little bit. Like, we're not we're not uber duper close, but we get. As in, there's like two of these cases left. There's this one, which takes a bit, and then there's another one. So. I was when I said that I was like, "Ooh, I might need to be careful. I don't want to spook tag." But
it's like, hang on a minute, this is an hour long.
Yeah, especially when I noticed the timer, I was like, I may need to explain. We are close to the end, but we do still. I mean, there is still a bit to go. So, yeah,
so close to the end of the game, we're just not close to the end of the run, sort of thing.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, no, technically we're nowhere near the end of the game, but because there's so many cases. I mean, this is the first out of like. Second out of 5, so yeah.
Like we'll have some questions for
but this is a slip. I need to go into my thingy here. This is Cliff.
Sorry, can I just read out a quick donation because it is sort of relevant to this particular game? Garlips did previously put in a £5 donation. Press X to doubt. I mean donate. So thank you, Garlips, for the £5, and it does go towards the Hidden Palace Detour incentive. That's for the Sonic Origins plus Sonic 2 Knuckles Any % run, which I think is taking place tomorrow. And then it's also towards the poll option for the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers for Legolas, which does mean that Aragorn and Legolas are now evenly split. So let's get a bid war going on those two on that particular poll, so that we don't end up with an even split between the two options on that. But that run, I think, is also taking place tomorrow. Don't forget, there is also an incentive for Golf with Your Grandmother, which is taking place later on. Actually, it's after the next run. So if you'd like to see the Add Extra Holes incentive be met for Golf with Your Grandmother, then be sure to donate to that incentive as well. ! Donate in the chat if you're on Twitch. There's a link in the description if you're on YouTube. So please get those donations in, because it all goes to a great cause as well.
Where are we headed?
I love that. I love when you read that donation out and you said to press X to doubt. I literally was pressing doubt at the same time you said that. But yeah, so we spoke to James Velasco. He's basically not James Velasco, sorry. What's his name? Cliff something. Cliff Harrison.
Detective Phelps, LAPD. Are you
basically, he's shown us a slip, which is a forgery, and so we're gonna ask where he got this car from, because the car was stolen. So yeah.
Got the original pink slip there too.
So we have the pink slip and just the slip for the car itself. So we're gonna look at this. Boom.
Gene Archer.
Gene Archer, 146 Fremont Avenue. It's a fake address for anyone who's curious. We're not gonna go there because it's just a fake address, so it wastes time. This is the bill of sale. So that doesn't really matter too much. This is the second really annoying, like, car dealer.
Can you tell us how you came to buy the car? Girl just wandered in right off the street. You need to give us.
So we're just gonna doubt him and then we're gonna truth him twice. Because
Son, your problem is.
Even though we're getting it wrong, it's mostly just because they don't really matter and it's just the quickest dialogue than all of them. So.
Can you describe this?
And so we don't really want to get right, because then it does end up making us go onto a whole. Sometimes it just ends up causing us to go into a bit of a whole thing.
What was your impression of her?
Kind of harried and harassed, in a hurry to go somewhere but no place to go. You get to know the type.
This was all above board.
Yes, of course it was.
What can you tell us about Archer?
Somewhat on the simple side.
Okay, so the next person we're going to speak to will be James Blasco. He is currently in holding, sort of. He's in an interrogation room, so we're going to have to go to Central, which is the back to the station, to question him. So we're going to go to the map. We know if it's because it's Central Police Station, which is just simply got a little police badge. And we're going to nick this car.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
And we're going to head to the police station, where James Belasco is. We're just going to ask him 2 questions. And then we are going to have kind of a situation where it's going to try and get us to go to a Western Union office. We don't really want to go to a Western Union office. So what we're going to do is we kind of need to go at the right time to go to a place called Marquee Printing Company to go and find a guy named Gordon Lightfall. So there we go. There's another
The paper
pink
is real
slip.
enough, Belasco, but the car isn't yours. This pink slip is a forgery.
Oh my god. The game didn't expect that.
Where were you taking the car?
So we just need truth and truth. We just have to believe this guy.
Come on, Belasco. Don't make it hard on yourself.
I've got nothing to say till I see an attorney.
Now associated with Archer. Again, not the truth.
Mean anything to you?
Nope. Never heard of her.
It's not true because
So she doesn't steal cars?
it's not true, but we're gonna say truth anyway because it's quicker. Yeah.
You had a chance to cooperate, Belasco. See you in 10 years when you get out.
You're Phelps, right?
Thanks, Ray.
So this is Ray Pinker. He is going to basically be kind of like
Good GTA suspect Gene Archer.
like the coroner, sort of. Yeah. So we're going to try and go to Marquee Printing Company, but we kind of want to wait here for a second, because if we select Marquee Printing Company, it's going to change to the Western Union office, and if we go to the Western Union office, that kind of wastes time. So instead, we're going to go to the Marquee Printing Company.
Here's a chick.
Sorry about that. So yeah, so...
You know the broad isn't gonna
yeah, pretty much. Okay. No, I'm not going to the Western Union office. Okay, we're going to speak to Gordon Lightfall.
I'm a traffic detective from
We need to see his ledger, so, yeah.
I am Gordon Lightfall. What's this about?
We understand that your company prints California vehicle titles.
Yes, I have the government contract.
I love the music still plays during this section, by the way. You're supposed to... You can actually run to the Western Union office, as it's literally around the corner from the station, but we haven't done that, so... The music still thinks we're in that little chase bit.
Have you ruled out forgery? There's no shortage of talented artists in this town.
We'll keep it in mind. Any ideas?
No, speak to Gordon Lightfall. It's my idea. We should have to go to the third Coombs delivery bit and doubt him on it.
We would like to cross-check against the Coombs Automotive Emporium.
It's a little out of the ordinary, Detective. I'm not sure I can share those sorts of records.
Hand it over, Lightball. You don't want us having bad thoughts about you, do you?
Very well.
And then we have to look for a guy in the ledger called S. Bigelow, whose name is Stephen Bigelow, who we'll see in this run. So we're going to open the ledger. Stephen Bigelow is right there. He's just a repeat. You can see him here. He's just a repeat. He's just a guy who loves repeat business. There he is. There he is again. We don't need to ask him any more questions, so we're just going to leave. And we're going to head to 58 Industrial Street.
You drive. I need to go over
which is where Stephen Bigelow is currently chilling. Which will turn into a gunfight. However, we're going to do a skip by not taking out the enemies. We're going to actually take out civilians. Sounds quite kind of dark, but it is a time save. It basically will fail us because you're not obviously allowed to actually harm civilians in this game. Technically, you don't really even harm the civilians. You're more just any bullet that goes near them. Okay, maybe you do actually. I did see some splatter of blood from her arm. Okay, but anytime you hurt a civilian, basically the game will fail. So we're just gonna keep doing this about one more time, and then we can skip it. It's just a lot faster than actually having to fight all these guys.
Cole Phelps, LAPD.
There we go. So I'm going to skip this action sequence and we'll spawn right in front of Stephen Bigelow. There he is.
Keep your hands up. Watch him.
We'll go look at the pink slips he's got in a little box here that he got from the Marquee Printing Company, which is a little bit suspicious. And then we're going to look at some betting slips over here, as well as this. A delivery note.
Marquee Printing Company. There's nothing like going direct to the source.
And then, yeah, betting slip where Gordon Lightfall has been losing.
Betting slip. Looks like Mr. Lightfall has been on a losing streak.
We've got a trail of pink slips and stolen cars.
So we just need to question Stephen Bigelow and say truth to him. And then we're going to have to go back to Gordon Lightfall because Gordon Lightfall's on some suspicious stuff.
You charge in here shooting up the place like it's the Ballad of Bulge. I can't give you anything.
We know about Marquee Printing. You can make this easier on yourself by giving us your man on the inside.
I sometimes repair cars and put them back on the road. I need a pink slip to resell them. There's no problem there.
Truth.
So none of these cars are stolen? You just shoot at intruders as a general policy?
Hell, what would you do? You gotta be careful. There's a lot of thieves around.
Oh, brother, now I've heard everything.
Oh yeah, sometimes they'll get, like, your partner will say something. It's really funny.
Bosses or not, Bigelow, you're going away for as long as I can put you there.
We'll see. I didn't fire a shot, copper. I just watched you tear my place up.
Not really. We kind of just shot up the street and then, you know. But yeah, so because like how you're supposed to do it is like kind of do a bit of a gunfight section, but it's kind of slow because you have to get behind cover and like the AI in this game is like it is like over 10 years old, but still they are pretty good. So we're gonna get back in our car because we need to go back to the Marquee Printing Company and go and get Gordon Lightfall because he's into some bad stuff. Oh my god, time save. Sometimes he will run around like the side and try and get in the car, but because there's cars coming, they'll either run into him, knocking him over, or they will or stop him from getting the car, or he will just run away from the car to avoid the car. I'm so glad he got in that way, because, oh, that was time save.
Under arrest. You again? This harassment is starting.
So we're almost on the last case. We just have this little last bit to do, where we have to doubt him, and then we go into the last case.
Pink slips in a warehouse full of hot cars. You signed for them, Lightball.
I signed for all the orders and deliveries.
Last case, which is going to be a attempted murder case by someone driving. You'll see.
Your money and influence will be worthless in San Quentin. If you don't go crazy in the first couple of months, then you'll probably get knifed in the chow line. Is that what you want?
Save it for the suckers, detective. You'll get nothing from me.
Gordon Lightfall, I'm charging you with conspiracy and fraud. Hands behind your back.
So let's just skip all this. This is like the whole thing about just my captain saying, "Good job, you." Oh, they're gonna say you didn't do a good job because I got hardly anything, but I still got the guy. So, oh yeah, kind of continuing that question earlier about can you fail? Again, no, as I said, no. That's kind of reminded me because the game kind of will just set you up to be able just to get your guy. Later in the game, you can like arrest the wrong guy, but for these first few cases, the game will always just kind of set you up to find your guys. Yeah. Okay, so basically, this is a car has been driven off an escarpment. And so we have to go and investigate why there's just a car hanging off. I don't even see it. There it is. There's the car. There's just like that car over there. It's kind of just hanging off like that. So we have to go and investigate why it's over there. So we're going to go do that. This one does kind of get into the dark side of like Hollywood back then, and how like exploitative Hollywood was in the 40s. So yeah, because this game kind of gets in, especially certain points, this game kind of gets into mostly like a lot of like corruption that happened in the 40s. You know, again, the exploitation of people in Hollywood in the 40s, especially women in Hollywood in the 40s and stuff like that. So yeah, so let's investigate this.
They've been torn off. Where did you find them? They were stuffed in the young lady's handbag. I'll run a trace for semen when I get back to the lab.
And then there's a letter from her mother. These are owned by Jessica, I forget her name, Jessica Hamilton, that's it. Who basically, whose aunt is a movie actress, not a real one, called June Ballard, who,
what's it made from?
yeah, basically Jessica wanted to be part of, like, wants to be a movie actress and stuff like that, but,
So we can rule out the murderer?
which happened in the 40s, people did want to be, lots, I mean, especially in the 40s, there was a lot of people who wanted to get into the acting business. I even say nowadays there is. But yeah, but there we go. So now we have to go and speak to June Ballard or June McAfee, if we're using her real name. As she's married to a man named Guy McAfee, who we will not see in this game, but he is...
Mrs. McAfee, we would like to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
I prefer to use my maiden name, June Ballard. You might be familiar with some of my work.
Can you tell us what happened here?
You're kind of cute for a cop. Maybe a bit on the serious side.
What about me, June? I'm a big fan of Beast.
I don't like.
Also, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I've seen, I love that on her forehead. She's got a bit of a Harry Potter, like, lightning bolt going on top of her, like, her forehead.
The officer says that you claimed that you were drugged.
I just find it funny.
That rat slipped us a Mickey Finn.
It's a little bit hard to tell, but it does look very similar. Just right on the top of the forehead, though.
I can't remember.
Who drugged you, Mrs. McAfee?
You really are a cute detective, but a little too naive for my taste.
So I just have to say truth to her for all these ones.
Jessica Hamilton. Poor Jessica. It's been a rough day for her. She's
to be honest, I hate the last part of this this case because it's really tricky. Because you'll see in a bit, but there's a guy we have to like shoot a few times, and he's really tricky to shoot because the game tries to not let you shoot him. But yeah, you'll see. You'll see.
Used to tamper with your car.
You see, I normally don't drive off cliffs. The last thing I remember is getting behind the wheel.
You don't remember where the head came from?
I don't know anything about a head. Why is everybody talking about a goddamn head? Isn't anyone interested in how I am?
Mrs. McAfee, I think it would be in everyone's best interest.
So, yeah, so we're basically just arresting her, basically.
I'm being taken in?
You could say that.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that you are under the influence of narcotics and that you are withholding information from the police.
My husband is going to want a word with you, Sonny Jim.
She also is really annoying because she says like really old slang terms and she's like really... I think that she's supposed to be though, because I think she's supposed to kind of like be a character that's like one like a very I don't know. I can't remember the word is. Annoying, basically. So we're gonna go speak to Jessica Hamilton, who is currently in the receiving hospital, which is basically this like hospital right next to the police station. So we're gonna go and question her, but we're gonna get everything wrong and upset her. So.
Here to interview with Jessica Hamilton.
Jessica Hamilton. Oh yes, she's in the room right behind you, detective.
You can't hold me.
Yeah, it's really funny if you hear June Ballard in the background, just kind of losing her mind.
Little. I need my lawyer. My head still feels funny. Where is the...
Hello, Jessica. My name is Cole Phelps. I'm a
Yes, very
policeman. I'd like to talk to you about your accident, if that's okay.
Okay.
Alright, let's go and question her a few things.
It's all kind of fuzzy. I remember waking up here. Nothing happened yesterday.
You're holding out on me, Jessica.
Please, I want my doctor. I'm not sure I can answer any more questions right now.
She says that, yet we then ask her another question.
You need to get in touch with your parents, Jessica, to tell them what has happened.
Oh, you don't need to worry them. They sent me along to stay with Aunt June. They trust her to take
This would be this one's supposed to be a lie, and then say that you have the letter, and then she kind of just kind of folds, and it's like, fine,
Please,
I'm not supposed to be here,
please
but
don't do that. My daddy will kill me.
I know what.
And then and then this one's supposed to be a lie, but we just need to pick the.
Please.
Because when you say a lie, it gives you what you want to. You can basically choose how it works. I don't know why I haven't explained this yet. So good cop basically means that you think that they're telling the truth.
I am telling the truth. I don't know.
If you think their body language is the truth, that basically just him. Well, good cop. Doubt is if you think they're lying, but you don't have proof to prove that they are.
You should think about going home, Jessica.
And then lie if you can tell if you think they're lying and you think you have proof, you can then press lie and then select what evidence you've got. So yeah. So here we're doing some action skips. June Bell has been kind of bailed out by her husband, so we're just going to kind of follow Guy McCaffrey. I don't know if it is her husband or some random guy bailed her out. Might be a lawyer actually. But we're gonna follow her. I think it's a lawyer. Her and her lawyer. Though we're gonna let them find us just because we want to fail this, so we can skip it. One more time, we should be fine. No, that's it. The Fallen Idol is what this one's called. So yeah. So we're a bit to go. We just have to go to a couple places. Well, we have to go to a house or an apartment. We have to go to a props studio, and then we have to go to a film studio. And then that's it. So yeah, you'll see. We're almost at the end though. We're getting close. Ooh. Sorry about that. Alrighty. We have to fail again here, but I think this one's a little quicker. We just need to turn on the siren the second we load in, or the second we skip the cutscene. Usually here you'd have to kind of sit here and listen to her be in a phone call while you're in, kind of reading pretending to read a newspaper. But yeah.
Get in there and see what she's got.
Alrighty, but there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to switch seat. Ooh, I'm already out of the car.
So what's the story? I'm guessing she didn't stop for
get out of the car.
She made a
call to Mark Bishop. I think it was to Mark Bishop or to someone. Okay, I can't. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, I may need to drive there now because I may have. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me drive up a little further, and then let me do this. Get out of the car.
I survived the war for this?
Yep. Okay. This is going to waste time, so I may be overestimate due to this, but I'm going to have to actually drive there because I accidentally got in the car. Oh. Okay. Never mind, I've soft-locked the game. Alrighty, hold on, let me reload back in. Should have auto-saved. I've somehow soft-locked the game. I've never done that. Ever running this game. Didn't even know it was possible. Try this one more time. Hold on a second. I think it was because I was driving and I got out. Okay.
Can you drive to this one? And where exactly are we going?
Okay, fixed it. There we go. Okay, that was strange. I've never soft-locked a game like that. That was weird. Okay. Didn't even know it was possible. So yeah, so this bit actually usually would have a fighting section, but if you either get your partner to drive here or you take forever to get here, you don't end up being involved in the fight, I guess, but yeah.
We received a call about a domestic disturbance. Apartment 803.
Detectives, listen, Mrs. Bishop's pretty upset. Take the elevator and then left down the corridor. It's the last door on the right.
So we're going to take an elevator to Mark Bishop's apartment. I don't think she called Mark Bishop. I think she called someone else. I don't know. But basically, June Ballard called someone. I think it was a guy in a cafe to get some guys to attack or to go to Mark Bishop's house or apartment and destroy it. So we found Mark Bishop's wife. So there's
a mermaid in the background. Silver screen.
Where we need to go next, and time save! I got it. Basically, if we spam square just after we ask that question, we basically can sit down and we don't have to listen to him talk for about 15 seconds. So, yeah. Here we're just going to question her with a truth and a truth, and then that's the last. This is the last dialogue of the run we need to do.
My husband's a movie producer.
Before the rest of it's just shooting and stuff like that. Truth.
Your husband was using June Ballard in his new movie?
Hardly. Mark feels that June Ballard has limited range and is over the hill.
And then whereabouts of it, yeah.
He told me he would be on set. That's all I know.
Either we find him or McAfee's people do, Mrs.
And then we need to use the phone to find out where Silver Screen Props is.
I do care for him, but I don't really know where he'd go if he were in trouble. Hopgood might know.
She's talking about Hopgood, aka Marlon Hopgood.
They work together on occasion. That's Hopgood's shop.
Operator, give me R&I.
Which is who's guy who owns Silver Screen Props. Turns out Silver Screen Props is used to secretly film
I need a location on the Silver Screen Prop
like
store.
wannabe actresses without their knowledge. In very weird ways, so yeah.
Thanks, ma'am.
I forget what the word is, but yeah. But we don't really investigate that too much. Usually if you want to do 5 stars, you do. But we just need to kind of find a...
wannabe starlet, the movie producer's wife. We're finally rubbing shoulders with the almost famous.
a thingy. We need to find just find out what his next movie is, because we know we find out he's going to basically kind of hide out at like one of his sets, basically. So yeah. But we need to go to Silver Screen Props. We also do find out this kind of continues a bit of the like corruption in the LAPD, as after we head to when we leave Silver Screen Props, we find out if you watch the cutscene, which we're not going to do because we need to skip it. There's a scene with Roy Earl, who's like an LAPD detective, works at Advice, very corrupt. He basically has a informant who is Marlon Hopgood, and Marlon Hopgood's basically an informant.
We're investigating the
that
attempted murder of June Ballard and Jessica Hamilton.
An informant about the crimes of Mickey C, also known as Mickey Cohen, who was a real-life gangster in the 40s, so, yeah.
I got a little soundstage out back.
Lead the way.
Fun fact, Mickey Cohen is actually in this game, but you only see him in Advice, so, yeah. Advice is one of my favourite cases, because it's one of my favourite desks. It's pretty much legitimately just gonna... It's, again, very thingy. And Call-Ups isn't actually the only person you play as in this game. Later in the game, usually around or during the arson desk, you get to play as someone who was like part of like Cole Phelps' unit in World War II.
What's this got to do with me? Don't try my patience, knucklehead.
He plays a guy, his name is Jack Kelso, who ends up being a guy who works for California Life and Fire, and then works for the DA.
room on the other side.
So there's a camera on the other side, so we need to go around there.
Find a way into that peep den, Phelps.
Which, if you remember in the Stanley Parable, there was that fake wall after we collect all the collectibles. Here's another fake wall. It's these games and all their fake walls. This one we can kick down, however. And we run through here, and we then go and grab this film, like, reel thingy. And we need to read the... yeah, the name of the movie and stuff like that. And there we go. So what we're now going to do is we are now going to leave, but we are going to get thrown into a cutscene, which we are going to skip, which is where we're then going to get attacked by Mickey Cohen's guys. That kind of sets up advice, because yeah, again, this is like the last case before we move on to homicide, but we're not doing homicide, so yeah. So they're going to start shooting at us. So we're going to try and take them out, and try not get run over either. These guys have a bit more powerful weapons, like a shotgun and a Tommy gun. And there we go, they're dead.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Do we know where we're going?
So now we're going to go to the jungle drums, that's hard to say. Set.
Let's see him chase us now. Onto the movie set, Phelps.
Basically, our partner, Ralph, is his name Ralph? Wait, which one? No, this is not Ralph. This is Stefan Bukowski. He basically starts like kind of like saying, "Oh, don't mess with me," blah blah blah. You know, trying to see him like this like cool cop, and it really annoys them, so they try and kill us. Here we're just gonna nick his car and drive away. This is because we need a mission fail, so we're gonna try and get as far as we can. Sadly, this one does take quite a little bit of time to actually fail. Unless, it's, yeah. So, but we're going to try and fail, so. Yeah. But we are almost over. So I will say when time is, because we are getting close, but we're still smidge left to do. But yeah. Okay, hold on. Stop crashing that. Oh. Okay. And last time we need to fail, so we can skip. Sort of. We need to keep this bit. The rest of this is all just mission fails, but that's because we need to. But as I said earlier, when we have to like try and shoot, we have to try and shoot Mark Bishop to fail because you're not supposed to shoot him. But it's really tricky because the game doesn't want you to shoot him, but you can actually shoot him if you get a bullet close to him. But it's really tricky because it's very tight. So yeah, so we're gonna skip that. And I got this while I got this while during practice. I didn't get it now. Damn it. I was getting this consistent during practice, but I didn't get it now. Got it there. Okay, I didn't actually know you could. Okay.
Last chance to back the hell down.
So we just have to do this 3 times because we need to fail. It's usually quicker if you can get him on the step, but
Christ, detective, they're trying to.
There we go. It's really difficult. I'm literally spamming it while moving the camera away from him. It's a thing. But yeah, so let's see if we can get the other bits consistent. Hopefully we can.
Get him over here, I'll come.
I got that one consistent. I got that one. Let's see if we can do that 2 more times.
Get him over here, I'll come. Christ, detective, they're trying to kill me.
Nope. Oh, God. Damn it.
McAfee doesn't make the rules. You hear me?
Yep. Just waste a bit of time, sadly, when that happens, but... And this really does start killing a lot of my runs. Like, I'll have sometimes good time for other stuff, but then it's this bit I just can't get consistent. Yeah. Alright, there we go. That's that bit. So we just skip, yep. Alright, and time will be in 3, 2, 1, and time. And there we go. That's L.A Noire. This is just going to be an endless loading screen now for a little bit because it breaks when you speedrun. So, yeah, but that's L.A Noire. So, our traffic percent. Again, it's not the full game because the full game is like 5 hours long speedrun wise, and it's about 11 hours long regular run wise. But yeah, if you don't play L.A Noire, definitely recommend it. This game is available on the PS5, PS4, the Xbox, the Switch, the PC, a lot of things. But yeah, but that is pretty much all from me.
Well, thank you very much for that. Let's have a look and see if we've had any new... Oh, we have had a new donation in. Very nice. So, it doesn't go towards any incentives or anything like that. Okay. So, yeah, we got Damien, who has put in another £5, reminding us to drink water again. And also, according to all known laws of aviation, there's no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Thank you very much for that donation, Damien. And the copyright infringement, thank you very much. I'm sure this video will get copyright strike now, thank you.
Great run, but great game, by the way. If you have... Not great game, great film, by the way. If you've not seen the film, watch it.
Yeah, honestly, like me and you were discussing this before. I unironically like the Bee Movie. Don't ask me why, but it is one of those films I actually do quite like.
It's great. It's so good.
But yeah, if anybody wants to put more Bee Movie script stuff in the donations, please don't, because I don't want this video getting copyright.
I've started something now because that's my tech checks. Like when people ask you to speak, that's my tech check sounds. That's what I say, and I've started something.
But yeah, so, but if anyone else does want to donate, of course, then you can do so by typing !donate in the chat. That'll bring up the link to the donation page. And there are incentives available on that page as well. There's a donation incentive for one of the next runs. So it's not the next run, it's a run after the next one, which is the Golf with Your Grandmother 5 holes by Cheese J run, add extra holes. Currently it's on £0, but if we get £50, then we will have extra holes at the end of the run, or whatever that happens in the run, I guess. But it's currently had no donations towards it as of yet. So if you would like to add your donations to that incentive, then please do so as well. And there are obviously other incentives and poll options available as well. There's a poll for the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers run by Nick R.P. Green, which is taking place on Sunday. And currently, Aragorn and Legolas are tied on £5 each. So I would suggest getting donations into that poll and trying to get one of those significantly far enough ahead, so that we make sure that it's the donations that choose what character is seen and not Nick, essentially. So we will be sure to get those donations in and obviously add your incentives and polls to it as well, because it doesn't cost any extra to add your incentive to it, and of course the donations go to everyone can as well. Subject to terms and conditions, we do retain 10% of all donations, only to cover our running costs, but the total you see on screen is the total we will be donating to everyone can, and that total stands at £39. An excellent total indeed. So, it's Paige. Have you got any final things you'd like to say before we finish and we go on to the next run?
No, just thank you for accepting these runs. I love some Stanley Parable and they are very fun little runs. But that's been me. As I said in the last one, I do stream on Twitch, I do YouTube, stuff like that. I also do many other runs, so if you guys want to see me run anything, I do run quite a few different things. If you want to find me on SRC, it's just Patreon Scott, but definitely get those donations in, but
Absolutely. Well, as I did mention previously, some of the runners will get tagged in the title on Twitch. And if they're tagged in the title, then you can click on that and it will actually take you to their actual page. So you can follow them there, which is quite handy. So be sure to follow the streams, the runners as well over on their personal pages, where you'll watch them doing their runs as normal as well. But the next run we're going to be going to is Angry Golf Any Percent by Ulvind. And we actually have a little bit of a golf games block coming up, because we've got Angry Golf any percent, and then we've got Golf with Your Grandmother 5 holes, which does have an incentive on the donation page, and then we've got Golfant by Shotu. So we have a bit of a golf block coming up, actually, so we're very excited for that, absolutely. But in any case, thank you, It's Page, for the run, and we'll see you again next time.